And welcome to a new episode of The Simpsons Did It. I'm your host, Steven Skolansky.
And I'm your co-host, Robert Skolansky.
So this week, sometimes you just have to eat bad food.
Yeah, so I have to ask, have you ever gotten food poisoning?
I've not gotten food poisoning. No, I guess as far as eating something they say you can't get food poisoning like right away.
Yeah.
Like they say it takes like almost 24 to 48 hours to actually get food poisoning.
Okay.
That's at least from medical things that I've read online.
Okay.
And there was a time where I had a sub from, not a sub, it was from Boston Market.
Oh, yeah.
And about 3 hours later, I was like vomiting in the toilet. But,
Interesting.
But I was like, well, maybe it's like, even like Shay was like, maybe it's food poisoning. I'm like, I don't think it could be food poisoning yet because it takes time to break down in your stomach. And
well, it only takes like a couple minutes for your body to digest food.
Yeah, but from what I hear, you can't get food poisoning like right away. Maybe it was. Maybe I did get food poisoning.
I'm going to tell this as a PSA, do not drink expired Mountain Dew.
Don't drink expired anything. That's the PSA.
So when I was still living in Madison, there was this giveaway, and the prize for the giveaway was like a 12-pack of either Pepsi or Mountain Dew. They hadn't given it all away, and so there was some left over, so I got a free 12-pack of Mountain Dew, and I drank it. I drank an entire can one day, and I was in the bathroom for like 20 minutes the next day because my body, basically rejected it. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't know what that was. And I had another Mountain Dew and it happened again. And I'm like, the hell is going on? And I checked the bottom of the can and the expiration date was like, it was like 2 months expired at that point. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to drink one more Mountain Dew.
Why would you do that?
Because I'm dumb and I got sick again. So I threw the rest of the Mountain Dew away. It took me 3 Mountain Dews to realize it, even though I should have taken 2.
Or 1.
Well, 1, maybe 1, 2, definitely. So yeah, PSA, do not drink expired soda or anything, as Steve mentioned earlier.
If at first you don't succeed, try again.
What doesn't kill you only makes you stronger.
Apparently. So this week we're going to be talking season 5, episode 13, Homer and Apu. Not a very good title.
But it's about Homer and Apu. It's right on the nose. What else do you need?
Boy, man, they must have been sitting in the writer's room being like, we really can't come up with a clever title for, Homer getting Apu fired from the Kwik-E-Mart and then going to India to visit the Kwik-E-Mart in India. Homer and Apu. Let's go with that. Sold. Really? Good God.
They don't all have to be winners.
God, that's just the laziest. Bart gets famous. I can see that being
how is that not lazy? That's lazy too.
That is lazy. This is lazier.
You didn't complain about Bart gets famous.
No, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, really? Okay. Anyway, this episode aired February 11th, 1994.
Happy birthday to me.
Not
kind
yet.
of. 2 days, whatever.
It is kind of weird. So up until now, the Simpsons haven't done their Valentine's Day episodes yet.
Oh, do they do that now?
Well, not yearly. It's kind of like Christmas. They don't do them every year, but they kind of do. But it hasn't started yet. And this is like right around Valentine's Day. So kind of weird they wouldn't start jumping on that. But recap. Homer accompanies Apu to the Kwik-E-Mart home office in India after Apu is fired.
Yes.
That's what happened. The chalkboard gag this week. I will not go near the kindergarten turtle.
Well, we all know Bart has a proclivity to killing class pets.
He does. Yes, keep Bart away from class pets.
So I'm assuming he got near the turtle and he was going to do something and he got caught.
I bet he was trying to race it. Put it on the ground and race the turtle. See how fast he goes?
Less than a mile an hour.
Maybe. I mean, my tortoise is pretty damn fast.
Well, only when he's in your grass and you lose him.
Yeah. So the couch gag this week. Homer, Marge, Bart, and Lisa poke their heads out from behind the couch. Then Maggie pokes out from behind the center cushion. I feel like this one was staged because normally they run into the living room.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, guys, here's what we're going to do. We're not going to show us running into the living room. We're going to hide behind the couch. We're going to poke our heads out one at a time. It'll be really funny.
It's an interesting couch gag.
Yeah. Different, new, so we'll take it.
Excitement. So this week's episode opens up on the Kwik-E-Mart. As you could tell by the recap and Steve basically giving the entire plot away earlier. So we go into the Kwik-E-Mart and Apu is wearing a Kwik-E-Mart uniform, which he normally does not wear.
Oh, he hasn't worn them yet.
No.
This is the first, and this isn't the, so this isn't the standardized Kwik-E-Mart uniform either.
No, this is like whitish blue.
Yep.
And so we see, so there's some people standing in line and somebody buys a 29-cent stamp for $1.85.
And his customer one is like, I need one 29-cent stamp. That's $1.85. And then he rings it up. Like, that's the best part. That customer number 2. Hi, I want $2 worth of your gas, please. $4.20. And then he rings it up again.
Well, yeah. How else do they have? They have to pay for it.
What, as a customer, would you even? Okay, and okay, fine. Then Martin comes up. How much is your penny candy? Surprisingly expensive.
Because that's the point. The Kwik-E-Mart price hikes everything.
I know, but 1, mark your prices accordingly. 2, if someone said, okay, $2 for a 20 or $1.85 for a 29-cent stamp, I'd be like, fine, I'm going to the post office.
Yeah, that's the whole joke.
No,
Way to have it go over your head.
It did go over my head. I'm telling the customers that they're stupid.
And so I love how so the customers are angry and
the joke could have worked if everything was priced. Like if he comes in and gets the stamp and he rings it up at $1.85, at least it's marked that way. He doesn't have to think that it's getting marked up on the spot, like physically on the spot.
I think this joke went way over your head. That's the whole point of the Kwik-E-Mart is he prices higher.
Yes. No, I got that.
I don't think you did. So anyways, the customers leave in a huff and one guy turns around and says, "This is what I think of your store." And he picks up a pack of Twinkies and twists them up. And Apu's like, "You cannot hurt the Twinkie."
And then customer, you can't hurt the Twinkie.
And the Twinkie just reverts back to its normal state.
Yep. That's the thing. If there's ever a nuclear war.
By the way, that's a myth.
No, Twinkies will survive.
That is a myth.
I don't know. Zombieland would say otherwise.
Zombieland is wrong. It's a good movie, but it's wrong. So then Apu, starts sniffing the air and he smells something. And it turns out to be expired ham that expired on February 6th, 1989. So this is 5-year-old ham.
Yes.
I don't know how this thing still looks fresh. Because I feel like if something's expired, especially meat, it goes rotten and it's really horrible to smell. Meat when it goes rotten is just stinky. And I feel like the Kwik-E-Mart would smell of this expired ham.
Probably.
So Apu crosses out the date, puts it on the bargain table. And on the bargain table, we have some chicken soup, some bananas, and apples. And all the items on the bargain table are 10 cents.
Yes.
Because they're probably all expired. So Apu's like, "I've gone too far." And he's like, "No one will fall for this." And then Homer walks in and he's like, "Ooh, cheap ham." And he just rips open the carton and eats the ham right there in the store. I don't even think he paid for it. Although he did pay for it.
Yes.
So Homer takes more ham home. And as he's eating it, he's like, "Oh,
stomach churning, bowels clenching, not much time, must Finish. What? Apparently he has to finish the ham.
Well, no shit. He paid good money for that.
10 cents.
10 cents.
If he even paid for it.
Yeah, right. I don't think Apu at that point would care because it's expired and it's out of his store. So then we get that ambulance cut scene where you get the ambulance driving on the road and the license plate on the ambulance reads slip.
Okay, does that stand for something? Like, okay, on a police car, there's usually like SFPD, like San Francisco Police Department.
I don't think slip really stands for anything. Like, I think it's more of just a joke.
For what? Like, what's the joke?
I don't know. Just read slip. Maybe they were like, hey, we need a license plate. Oh, he got hurt. You get hurt slipping. Put slip on there. I don't know. I just calls it like I sees it. And so, Homer ends up at the hospital where Hayward is his doctor, and he's like, Homer's illness is either caused by rotten meat or a voodoo curse. And Selma and Patty, like, they pan over, and Selma and Patty are there, like, they pull out a voodoo doll of Homer, like, we've only been working the eyes.
Yeah. What's Patty and Selma even doing there?
To see if Homer died.
Oh, right. That's right. Yeah, that's what they have to do.
Yeah.
And so Homer runs back to the Kwik-E-Mart to yell at Apu. And he's like, your old meat made me sick. I'm so sorry. Please accept 5 pounds of frozen shrimp. This shrimp isn't frozen, and it smells funny. Okay, 10 pounds. Woo!
Wee-woo! Because the shrimp isn't frozen, and it's probably expired.
I know. Oh, my God.
Well, I want to know how much he was eating.
All of it. All 10 bucks. All 10 pounds.
Oh, my God. That's a lot of shrimp, even for Homer.
And so now Homer's on the couch, obviously resting up from his probably days of vomiting.
Yes.
And he's watching TV, and he sees a dog barking out the title, Bite Back, with Kent Brockman and his Channel 6 consumer watchdog.
And it was barking out almost every freaking word. This is a parody. So Kent Brockman's segment, Bite Back, is a parody of Fight Back with David Horowitz.
I know that name. Why do I know that name? Do you know that name? Or
maybe?
I feel like
I've heard it, I'm sure.
Was he like a cable network anchor of some kind? Or I feel like maybe that's where I heard
there's a writer, David Horowitz.
Oh.
He was an American conservative writer. He is the founder and president of the right-wing David Horowitz Freedom Center. He was the editor of the center's far-right website Front Page Magazine and director of Discover the Networks, a website that tracks individuals and groups on the political left.
Oh.
Unless there's other David Horowitzes out there.
Maybe. So the voiceover guy says, brought to you by, and the dog continues barking out words. I kind of want to know what it was brought to you by.
Barking.
Yep, and then Lisa starts...
I love Homer.
Homer's like, that dog can sell anything. Yes, Homer listens to the dogs.
Yes, he does.
And so Ken gives an update on his elderly home segment titled Geezers in Freezers, which unfortunately Jasper has not wound up in the freezer yet.
No.
But maybe this is where it started.
Maybe
that's where Jasper got the idea to go into the freezer, this segment right here. Now I did look that up, and that is until season 7.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
Crazy.
So Kent says the rest home was properly heated, and they showed footage from a fur storage facility.
Every time we watch The Simpsons and Kent Brockman does a story, because it was like a couple weeks ago, you asked if Brockman worked for Fox News. And every time I watch Kent Brockman, more and more, I think he does. He is a Republican. I know The Simpsons are definitely more left-leaning with their jokes. They do make fun of Democrats, too, especially, I think, in the earlier seasons. I think now, I haven't really watched The Simpsons the last few years. I don't know if they still make fun of politics.
Every once in a while, yeah.
But yeah, Kent, we know Kent is a Republican.
Yeah.
So this makes sense. I'm not saying that left-leaning organizations don't also do this kind of stuff, but it's definitely
Not as
within Kent's
much.
nature. Not as much, though.
Kent says that they were told to apologize for using the term geezers, but we don't give them. But we don't see him actually give the apology.
And why don't we get the apology?
Up next, the case of the cantankerous old geezer.
See, I don't think you need to apologize for the word geezer.
No.
I mean, I guess old people probably find it offensive, but it's a funny word.
It is. And so Homer complains about his food poisoning and asks if there is a way to get justice. And Kent says, if you have a consumer complaint, call 555-6425.
Boring.
And Lisa's like, no, Dad, you should totally call that number. And so Lisa asks Homer if he's listening. And Homer tells Lisa, shh, the dog's talking.
Yeah, because so we get a voiceover of Kent say, and now a word from the Church of Latter-day Saints. And the TV dog barks some more.
Oh, gotta love that TV dog, man. So Kent Brockman and Homer are sitting in a what are they, in the news van, right?
No, this is
are they still at the studio?
No. Yeah, they're at the studio.
Yeah,
right
Kent
now.
Brockman's like, all right, are you willing to go undercover to nail this creep? No way, man. No way, man. Get yourself another patsy, man. No way I'm wearing a freaking wire. All right. Would you be willing to wear a hidden camera and microphone? Oh, that I'll wear.
God, Homer
I loved him being the hippie from the 70s. I'm not going to work for the government, man.
Well, we know, like, he grew up with hippies.
I know. Oh, that's so good. That's awesome. I like it. And so we get a van parked out in front of the Kwik-E-Mart that says ordinary van on it.
Because that's not suspicious at all, man.
Oh, it's not. Kind of like Flowers by Irene.
Wait, what?
During the Sideshow Bob episode.
Oh, yeah.
The van that pulls up Flowers by Irene, FBI.
Guy.
That one's not suspicious at all either.
No. Well, because it's Flowers by Irene.
It is. And so probably the news company came up with a camera so tiny it fits inside this oversized novelty hat.
I love this joke. It's hilarious.
Because cameras back then, yes, they were definitely big. Well, they were big, but they were definitely smaller than they are now. Now you get a fucking tiny ass spy camera.
Well, yeah, spy camera, but the gag is
where's my spy camera?
Well, the gag is they basically took like I would say the size of what cameras are now for like a lot of TV stations are a lot smaller to put into the hat. Like, especially if you're doing a news expose, this is not the way to get information. I think it's actually illegal in a lot of states.
I don't think you're legally allowed to actually go into
especially if you're a news station, especially a news station. Now, there are a lot of states where the laws say you only need one person to consent to like recordings. Because like there's a lot of, I know there's this one woman who tried to get people who worked for, what is it called? Planned Parenthood on like camera talking about like how evil they are. And it just never happened. And a lot of people are like, oh, they should sue. Well, a lot of places, you only need one person to consent, which is weird because if I'm the one secretly recording to you, I'm consenting to it.
Yeah.
That's a little weird, but that's how the laws are.
Yep. And so Kent tells Homer that he has 10 minutes to get in and out or he'll suffer permanent neck damage because that thing is damn heavy. Yes. And then another guy walks in with a bent head that comes out to show Homer. He's like, he wasn't kidding.
Well, yeah, cameras are not light, man.
No, they're heavy. Not like, now, though. Well, you can wear a GoPro on your head now.
Yeah, you could. Well, but this isn't a GoPro. This is like a professional grade like camera.
No, but I feel like that's how they do it now, right?
If you can wear a GoPro.
Yeah, I mean, those things are 8K now. You can film pretty much anything in great quality.
Yeah.
And sneakily, too.
Yeah.
And so Homer goes into the Kwik-E-Mart. He's like, Apu, don't be alarmed. Go about your business as if I'm not wearing this hat. and Apu's like, what is that? Is there a buzzing coming from your hat, sir? Oh no, And then he takes it off his head. Or no, Apu's like,
Yeah.
oh, I could be a bee. And then he takes it off his head and chucks it on the ground and starts stomping it.
And so he stomps the hat, stomps the camera, and Homer runs back to the van. And Kent's like, Homer, that hat's been with the station for 20 years. Had 1 day left until retirement. I love that joke. Because, you see that in all, like, cop dramas and shit like that.
Yep, he gets killed 1 day before retirement.
And I love, like, the hat is, like, this special thing that they're going to retire.
Now,
like,
but, hey, look at it like this. If it's 20 years old, now I get why it's so big.
Yeah. And somehow the camera inside is still working, which, by the way, if Homer did that to a real camera, that camera is not working anymore. And it catches Apu, putting hot dogs back on the roller, but he drops one, and it rolls in front of the camera. And there's like a Band-Aid and hair and dirt on it. And Apu's like, oh, nobody will know, and he like blows off the dirt and puts it on the roller. And Kent Brockman's like, we got him, and he's like, Homer. But Homer's not in the van because he runs back into the Kwik-E-Mart to buy a hot dog. Now, I don't know if it was that hot dog that Apu like put back on the roller, but I'm assuming most of those hot dogs aren't fresh.
No. Any of the hot dogs would be bad.
Yeah.
But the video made Homer want a hot dog.
Yes. And so now we cut to the Simpsons, who are watching the news, and we get more TV dog barking.
Oh, my God.
Bark,
that gag just keeps on going.
It's great. And so we get an expose where Kent Brockman is asking Apu, he's like, will you ever stop selling spoiled meat? And Apu's like, no. I mean, yes. I love the animation here because you can actually, like, they drew in the sweat, like, dropping on Apu's head.
Yeah.
Like, that was dope. But we find out Apu's also watching this report at work in front of customers. And the woman's like, you're a monster. I think I came off looking pretty good.
Yeah.
And so now we get like some business guys from Kwik-E-Mart Corporation to come in to yell at Apu. And he was like, well, I was just following standard procedure. And the head guy is like, he's like, that may be. But standard procedure also says to blame things on a scapegoat or a sacrificial lamb.
I love how they agree with him that's.
But he got caught.
Yes.
But he got caught. And he didn't blame it on. He didn't use a scapegoat. So then the guy is like, you are no longer allowed to wear this name tag or the tag that says to ask about our fried pickles. I don't know if I'd want to eat fried pickles from the Kwik-E-Mart.
Dude, I wouldn't eat anything from the Kwik-E-Mart.
Well, I also won't eat fried pickles because they're gross.
I think the only thing that's probably good at the Kwik-E-Mart would probably be the squishies. That would be the only thing at the Kwik-E-Mart that's probably good, only because we've learned in the future that there's a squishy lady.
Oh, that is true.
And ice, I mean, it's ice. It's why the machine manufactures it.
Yeah, but you know how dirty those machines are? Like, you really think Apu is cleaning those machines? Now, maybe the squishy lady is, but Apu certainly isn't.
I don't know. I feel like that's his highest seller. And so
it doesn't matter.
Actually clean it.
Dude, you know how gross soda vending machines are at...
yeah. Well, the ones I go to tend to be pretty clean, especially, I mean, if you go right away in the morning or right when they open.
Yeah. So anyways, then he's like, turn in your pricing gun. And he like lifts his shirt, pulls one out, and the one on your ankle. And they formally fire Apu.
Oh, I love the cop references this episode.
Yeah, that was great.
One day till retirement, the guns in the holster and on his ankle.
And so Apu's like, I don't want to live anymore. And he tries to grab a hot dog, and him and the head guy like fight over the hot dog. And he's like, not this way. Give me the wiener. He's like, give me the wiener.
I just love how everyone knows that fresh food at the Kwik-E-Mart is bad.
Yeah. So then Apu, he's standing at a bridge, and he's like, I'm sad. And he's like, even the babbling brook below sounds like it's mocking me with laughter. And then it like pans down, and there's just two hobos underneath the bridge tickling each other with feathers. Like, who needs money when you got feathers?
Yeah, exactly.
You do. You still need money. Well, I guess you don't, but you need money for food. So then Apu, walks down the street, and he comes across a pet store with a sign in the window that reads, today only, laughing monkeys. And then, because they're laughing monkeys, the monkeys laugh at Apu. And it makes him even feel worse. And then he's like, so we already talked about this prior to recording this episode. So Apu walks through the Simpsons neighborhood, and it starts to rain, like that old cliche, like, oh, I'm depressed, and then it starts raining. And Apu stops in front of the Simpsons house, and he's like, this is all Homer's fault. And he turns and he sees Homer watching TV and laughing. Now, I'm sure you noticed this when you watched it. So if you look at the Simpsons house, there's a big window. There's two big bay windows on either side of the front door. Homer is clearly sitting in the TV room. However, when Apu looks at him, he's in front of the bay window, which is normally where the dining room is.
Yes.
And I was like,
I saw everything. You saw the sailboat picture,
the door to the kitchen.
Yeah, you saw everything.
So it's like, and I think this might be kind of one of the first episodes where you kind of get the sense that the Simpsons house isn't like it should, like physically how it should be. But I'm assuming that's an animation error, because I'm sure you could have still have seen Homer from the other bay window and looking past, like, I guess that's the living room you would call it, into the TV room. Yep. But like, no, they did it front and center. And I understand why they did it, but it's still not right.
Yeah.
You screwed up the continuity of the Simpsons house, man. And so, you know, he's so Homer is watching this comedian, which is great.
It's a Def Jam type comedian show on TV. It's like the comedian's like, yo, check this out. Black guys drive a car like this, and he mimes driving while leaning back in the seat, one hand on the wheel. Yeah, but white guys, they drive cars like this. And he mimes while leaning up to the windshield, both hands on the wheel. And Homer's laughing. It's true. We're so lame.
That's, that scene, I say, would still fly today.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That's good.
Great. I love it. And so, Apu is like, it's time to settle the score. And he goes to knock on the door. And Homer opens it, and Apu walks towards Homer with like his hands out, like, I'm going to strangle you motion. And I love the fact that this is the commercial break, because Homer is like, oh, don't hurt me. And then they cut to break, like, oh,
what's going to happen next?
Happened to Homer. And so, so then we cut back, and Homer screams at Apu not to kill him.
Yeah, he's like, no, don't kill me. I didn't know there was film in that camera, in that hat. I was unaware. Mr. Simpson, you misunderstand me. In my village, this is the traditional pose of apology. Oh, now that I think of it, it may be a little confusing. Many have died needlessly.
Oh God! How do people? I guess like the other person thought they were gonna get like murdered, and so they attacked the other person.
Yep. And so Homer's like, and Homer confused by Apu's apology, is like, "You're selling what now? I'm selling only the concept of karmic realignment. You can't sell that. Karma can only be portioned out by the cosmos." And then Homer slams the door on Apu. He's like, "Hey, he's got me there."
Yeah, I do love the fact. So the whole reason Apu came to like apologize is because, he realized he had wronged Homer and he wanted to work off his debt, which is why, and he's like, he's at Homer's service. And that's why Homer is confused about like what he's selling.
Yes. He doesn't understand the concept of, repaying what, you're due. And so like, that's more of a Hindu, religion thing where you want to make sure everyone's, all at peace.
Yes.
And so, I like how Apu is still at the Simpson house, like just raking leaves outside.
I feel like this is the next morning.
Yeah, it gotta be. Yeah. So they're looking out the window and they see Apu, and Homer's like, is he still out there? Yes. Marge is like, yes, he's raking leaves. What? That's your job. If he starts doing Lisa's wood chopping. Oh my God.
That is great.
Why are they chopping wood?
Maybe they have a gas. Maybe they have, for the fireplace.
Oh, right.
Maybe their fireplace is a wood fireplace.
Oh, maybe. That might make sense. But do they really chop? I guess Lisa chops the wood.
Yeah. Where is Lisa chopping the wood? They have like one tree.
They're going to get big, giant trunks, and Lisa's in charge of chopping them.
Okay.
Yep. And so, Marge tells Homer that if Apu wants to make it up to him, just let him. And so Apu cooks for the Simpsons. And Apu says he was quite the cook at Ramapur. And Ramapur is a village in the Kanpur to CD block of, what's that, Tehata subdivision of Nadia district in the state of West Bengal, India.
Yes. So Ramapur is a real, I guess, place. It's a real village.
Yep.
Which that's kind of cool that they actually chose a real place in India.
But I wonder if that's also a joke about Indians that come to America that, they're self-proclaimed doctors and then they work up as janitors at hospitals instead of being real doctors. I know that was kind of the trope in the 90s and stuff. But maybe. like Pooh's like this great chef in India, but he comes here to work at the Kwik-E-Mart.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Marge is, poking at her food and she's like, it certainly is exotic. And then, oh, Lisa, is that too spicy for you? And Lisa's just panting and her eyes seem unfocused and she has trouble speaking. And
I can see through time. By the way, Indian food, if you've never had it, it can be very spicy. So if you go to an Indian restaurant, I believe they number their food for like spice. It's like 1 through 5.
Yep.
I've had Indian food. It is fantastic. I've never had the more spicy stuff, but every once in a while I got a hankering for spicy food. Unfortunately, Green Bay is not a hotbed for cultural food.
Yeah. And so Homer's like, stop being such babies. You can't be afraid to try new things. For instance, tonight I'm using what do you call this thing again? A napkin. Outrageous.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Homer doesn't know what a napkin is.
Well, thanks for explaining the joke.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Maybe Homer uses like paper towel. Remember, that's what we always used at home. We never used actual napkins.
No, we didn't. But we knew what napkins were.
Yeah. Yeah, restaurants had them.
Oh, yeah. But we use paper towel.
We use paper towels. Well, napkins are more earth-friendly.
Anyways.
Because you wash them instead of keep throwing them out.
Yeah, but then you're using electricity. To wash them.
Well, in Springfield, they're using nuclear power, so what's worse?
I don't know.
And so now the Kwik-E-Mart is trying to replace Apu because what happened to Sanjay? I thought it was like a family-owned.
Yeah, that's what they made it seem like. Maybe Sanjay still kind of works there, but maybe he was like part-time and he had like a full-time job somewhere else.
Yeah, but didn't he have a cousin that I feel like this was like a family-owned Kwik-E-Mart.
I don't know. I don't know.
So weird. But
I love how they're doing the interviews in like a janitor closet.
Yep. And their first person to be interviewed is Barney. And he
wasn't the first. It's the first one we see.
We see, yeah, I'm sure. And Barney's like, I want to work somewhere that keeps me out of the sun. And then he's like, oh, okay. And then he leaves and burps. And the guy said, he is head and shoulders better than everyone else. So who else did they interview?
I don't know. Clearly the town folk of Springfield are not good interviewers. I don't know.
If Barney's the best one so far.
Oh my God.
So he leaves and we see James Wood is the final applicant. And James Wood is his own guest star as
That's
himself.
Awesome. I feel like as the title of our podcast suggests, The Simpsons did it first because Family Guy kind of ripped off The Simpsons with James Wood's thing.
I know. I'm surprised James Wood wouldn't become a staple on The Simpsons. Maybe they didn't offer him enough money.
It's James Woods, probably not.
Yeah. And so they ask Woods about his previous job experience. He's like, some of my work is True Believer, Salvador, The Onion Field, and The Hard Way.
I've never seen a single one of his movies, by the way.
I mean, this episode.
Those are all his movies. Those are all things he's been in.
No, they are, but this is 94. I mean, we were 10 years old. We hadn't heard of any of these movies
I was
yet.
7.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you were even younger. So, I mean, we didn't know any of James Wood's earlier work.
But here's the thing. This episode came out almost, 30 years ago now? 28?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still haven't seen any of James Wood's movies in 28 years.
You've never seen a James Woods movie?
Not that I
Like
can
any
recall.
of them?
No, I don't think so.
You should IMDb him and get a list. I'm sure you've seen at least one.
I don't think so.
Okay. And so the guy realizes those aren't names of convenience stores, but rather the resume of a Hollywood star. And then he's like, to be honest, in my upcoming movie, I'm going to be playing a tightly wound convenience store clerk. And, I kind of like to research my roles and really get into it. For instance, true believer, I actually worked in a law firm for 2 months. And then the film Chaplin, I had a little cameo in that. I actually traveled in time, back to the 20s, where, well, I've said too much.
Yeah,
I know a James Woods movie you probably have seen. Vampires, the John Carpenter's Vampires.
Nope.
You've never seen John Carpenter's Vampires?
Nope.
Oh, see that. If you're seeing any John Carpenter movie, go see that one. That one is fantastic.
What about Halloween?
Was he in Halloween?
No, but you said any. You meant James Woods.
Woods. Yes.
Okay.
So I thought maybe, just maybe, this could have been a Clerks reference because this hit Sundance around maybe 5-6 months. But it was 93 when it hit Sundance. So maybe, but it went through the film circuit and then it won Toronto Film Festival Awards in 94.
Yeah.
It was a very, very popular indie flick. And it just made it seem like a tightly wound convenience store clerk just made it seem like Dante so hard.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if that's a Clerks reference or not.
That would be a question I'd love to ask Kevin Smith. Just be like, hey, he's a huge Simpson fan. So I would just love to know if something that James Wood said like this had any bearing on that line. It'd be really interesting to find out.
Yeah.
So Homer is taking a shower, but he can't find a towel, and then Apu brings him one, and Homer screams. So he's like, but Apu reassures Homer that Homer has nothing that Apu hasn't seen before, except for the lollipop that's on his chest.
And Homer's like, I like to keep a lollipop. How did he? So did he not know that was there when he was showering?
No, also, he was showering with it, but to wash his hair and body, he stuck the lollipop to his chest so it wouldn't.
Why wouldn't you stick it in your mouth?
Oh, that would be a better place for it.
No shit.
Well, he keeps what did he keep on his back?
Nothing.
The candy that he keeps on his back for safekeeping.
I don't remember.
What is it? The honey bar, honeycomb. Something. Remember, it was in that Simpson episode where he's doing exercising. It looks like he's exercising, but there's really something stuck on his back at the power plant.
Oh yeah. I think it's just a random candy.
Okay, but see, he likes keeping things on his back and on his front.
Yeah, I don't know if that just got stuck to him. He wasn't keeping that there to keep it there. It got stuck to him.
Yeah, maybe. So now Apu's stacking cans of corn in the kitchen. And Marge is like, usually we keep the cans in the cupboard.
Apu's like, well, you'll never move them that way. And the kids come in and they're like, ooh, corn, we haven't had that in a while. And they take the cans and run off. And, I kind of agree with Apu because if you store something away, you might forget about it.
I always forget we have things in the cupboards. Sometimes we'll open up the cupboard. It'll be something Shay bought 2 months ago.
Oh.
Unopened. We're like, dude, you have this in the cupboard. Oh, I'll eat it.
And then she forgets.
Yeah. I don't understand. How you just forget that you buy something. I usually try to eat some. But then again, I try to keep stuff on countertops. And then Shay's like, you got to put that away. It can't be left on the countertop. I'm like, but I'll eat it.
Well, it's funny because I keep cereal out on the countertop, so I'll eat it, but obviously the milk is in the fridge, and then I just completely forget about it, even though it's sitting right in front of me. It doesn't matter. So, and I love the fact, so the Lisa and Bart take 2 of the cans, and Apu has more cans to stack.
Yeah.
And he stacks more corn. And so Marge goes in the fridge, notices they're low on milk for Maggie, and she's like, "Oh, Apu, would you like to go to the Kwik-E-Mart with me?"
No, she's like, "Oh, we're low on milk for Maggie. You want to come with me to the Kwik-E-Mart?" Please, Mrs. Simpson, I cannot go there. That is the scene of my spiritual depensing. Now I have another question. Maggie's a baby.
Yes.
I mean, granted, she's 1, so I guess theoretically she's allowed to start drinking milk. But that would mean the whole family would have to be drinking whole milk because kids aren't allowed, babies aren't allowed to have 1%, 2% skim or anything until they're like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And so it's weird that Maggie's not drinking out of a bottle. Have we ever seen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know if we've ever seen her drink like milk, but we've seen her drinking out of a bottle before, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So Marge is like, oh, why don't we go to Monster-Mart, which we saw in the last episode.
Yep.
Which they had their grand opening.
They did, and they added a sign outside since that grand opening.
Yeah, it says, where shopping is a baffling ordeal. And I thought this is what popped in my head when I heard this. I was like, maybe this should be IKEA's slogan.
Yeah.
Because I've been in IKEA like twice in my life, and it's very confusing. Like, I understand the layout, but it's still very confusing to me.
Yeah, and I like how this is like now we had a Sam's Club membership growing up.
Yes.
And we always got, everything in giant bulk, which is really funny. And I love the joke on Sam's Club. I mean, how long has Sam's Club been around? I don't know.
A very long time.
Oh, has it? Okay.
A very long time. I'm pretty sure Sam's Club and Walmart are pretty much the same age.
Are they?
In terms of being around. This kind of reminded me more of like Costco.
Well, it's the same thing. Costco, Sam's Club, it's all the same thing.
Yeah. And so Apu and Marge are walking down an aisle, and we see fun-sized flakes, which one fun size means smaller, because like if you buy fun-sized candy, it's like smaller than the regular candy. You got big mayo,
yes,
giant jar of mayonnaise, even bigger chips. And the last one confused the hell out of me. Poodle bones? Like, are these bones the size of poodles? Are these actual bones of poodles? Or are these bones for poodles?
I would say bones for poodles. But yes, if you guys have never shopped at a Costco or Sam's Club, things are huge there.
Oh yeah, they're ginormous. So I love how Marge walks away and she comes back with an economy-sized bag of nutmeg. It's like this huge giant thing.
She would ever need that.
I was gonna say, what do you even use nutmeg for? Cookies?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Christmas cookies?
I don't know. So Apu's like, yes, they have good products at rock bottom prices. But where is the love? And then somebody over the loudspeaker, we love each and every one of you.
Yep.
And so then we see Barney shopping at Monster-Mart, and he's got what I'm assuming is a keg of Duff and an oversized bottle of Peptic Bismol. Not Pepto-Bismol, Peptic Bismol. And so then he stops at like this display of oversized syrup bottles.
I think it was just an oversized Aunt Jemima syrup
bottle.
Bottle.
Pretty much. And he's like, hey, lady, where are the lampshades? And so Barney is like, starts shaking her because obviously it's a syrup bottle and he doesn't it's not answering him. So Barney knocks it over and it spills. And he's like, oh God, I've killed her. It's happening all again. Now this scene let's go to the Wayback Machine. This is presumably a reference to the episode Rosebud, where Barney accidentally shot and killed a woman walking by the Simpsons house after Homer slammed a door in his face.
Yes.
Because he was threatening Homer to give Bobo back so he could give it to Burns to get the beer flowing back through Springfield. And so is this a PTSD situation for Barney?
I would think so.
Like that, like if it is, it's a great callback. And so then Barney runs away and he knocks over a pyramid of cranberry juice and a growler. That's what it's called, a growler.
Yep.
And him running in and breaking the bottles, which creates a cranberry juice tidal wave, is a parody of ocean spray commercials of the time.
Okay. At first I thought it was a Shining reference with like the blood coming at him.
That makes sense too. I don't remember these ocean spray commercials, but I vaguely remember them.
The only ocean spray commercials I remember, and obviously I don't know much from the 90s, but the only ones I know of are the ones where they're standing in the cranberry bog talking.
Oh yeah. So now we see the express lane, which is 1,000 items or less. And Apu is telling Marge that the express lane isn't always the fastest. And he's like, see that old man? He would be willing to talk the cashier's head off. And the old man that Apu points to is Abe Simpson.
Now, do they not need a membership for Monstromart then?
Probably not.
Okay.
And so Abe pulls out a nickel and says, there's an interesting story behind this nickel. Back in 1957, I remembers, it was, I got up in the morning and I made myself a piece of toast. I set the toaster to 3, which is medium brown.
I do like setting my toaster to 3, by the way.
I set mine, depending on what it is. Yeah, I think most of the time I set mine to 3 as well.
Yeah. Abe, maybe that's where I got it. Abe said that. I'm like, yeah, 3 is a good number for...
By the way, although the weird thing with my toaster, it doesn't have numbers. It just has notches. So anytime I use the toaster, I have to turn it all the way back to the beginning and then go forward again because I don't know where it's set.
Wow, you have a shitty toaster.
It actually works really well. It's just the overall look is shitty.
Yeah. So Apu suggests they go to the longest line, and Apu points out that it's all men in the line that are pathetic and single, only cash and no chit chat. And they're just really quickly going through the line, and Marge is impressed. But I love Apu's knowledge of Monstromart or just shopping in general.
Yeah.
It's like he actually kept up on the competition and how retail works almost.
Yes.
And so back at the Kwik-E-Mart, we see James Wood is giving Jimbo change, and he stops to ask Jimbo if his performance was believable.
Oh God, that's great.
He wants to take notes, man. And Jimbo tells him he thought it was a little labored.
I'm assuming Jimbo meant like James Woods was trying too hard.
Yep. And Jimbo tells Woods he has to lose himself in the moment.
Well, I mean, you're acting. You got to be in the moment, man.
Yeah, he's like, all right, let's try that again. Okay, I'll be me and you be you.
I'll be me?
I'll be me?
Listen here, stop messing around.
Yeah. Boy, James Woods really gets in his roles, man.
Yes, he does.
All right. So now the Simpsons are eating dinner, and Marge thanks Apu for being so helpful. And Lisa says Apu taught her how to play the shenai.
Shenai?
Yep. And that's a musical instrument orientating from the Indian subcontinent. Is made of wood with a double reed. So obviously that's why Lisa's really good at it. She's good at reed instruments. At one end, and metal or wooden flared bell at the other. So very similar to probably like an oboe.
Yes.
And its sound is thought to create and maintain a sense of auspiciousness and sanctity as a result. It is widely used during marriages, processions, and in temples, although it is also played in concerts. Now, isn't that also the instrument where they do the whole snake charm thing?
I believe that is what they use.
Yep.
That or a recorder. I don't know.
And so
it all sounds the same.
Yeah, so Lisa plays it, and Homer says it's worse than the album Abe released.
Are we going to get that episode?
I want that episode.
I want that episode.
All right,
Simpsons.
Simpsons, where are you? We want this episode.
I want to know what music Abe released.
Yeah. And so Apu taught Bart how to do yoga, and which Bart's used how to get out of school. Because really, yoga back then wasn't really the big thing.
No, it really wasn't. And so the yoga that Apu teaches Bart is to put his legs behind his head, and he used it to say he got mangled in like a bus accident.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And so Apu thanks everyone for their kind words, and Homer replicates that Apu deserves it. Replies that he deserves it, especially because the food he makes has cleared out all of the cholesterol out of his heart. And so we see a shot inside Homer's body where the cholesterol moves from his heart to his brain and starts short-circuiting his brain.
That's not how cholesterol works.
Oh, God damn you, Simpson writers.
That's not how any of this works.
And so Homer says, he said,
Apu, friend me good.
Yeah.
Because his brain short-circuited.
Yep. And so Lisa tells Apu that Homer means he's part of the family now. And Apu says he feels that way too. And then breaks into probably one of the best Simpsons songs ever recorded.
Yeah.
And so he's like, whether igloo, hut, or lean-to, or genocidal dome.
Genocidal? Geodesic.
Oh, sorry. Geodesic dome. There's no structure I have been to, which I'd rather call my home.
And then Abe walks in. Yeah. Abe walks in. He's like, "Hi, everybody!" And then Apu grabs Abe's cane, and Abe's like, "Ah!"
Yep. When I first arrived, you were all such jerks, but now I've come to love your quirks. Maggie with their eyes so bright, Marge with hair by Frank Lloyd Light, Lisa can philosophize, Bart's adept at spinning lies, Homer's a delightful fella. Sorry about the salmonella. That's okay.
and then Abe tries to sit in a chair, and Apu uses his cane to pull the chair away and stand and sing some more.
Yeah. It's like, who needs the Kwik-E-Mart? Now here's the tricky part. Oh, won't you rhyme with me? Who needs the Kwik-E-Mart? And
their floors are sticky mart.
And Lisa's like, they made Dad sicky mart. Let's hurl a bricky mart.
That's Bart.
Yep. That Kwik-E-Mart is real. Dough. And they're like, who needs the Kwik-E-Mart? Who's like, not me.
Not me.
And then the family's like, forget the Kwik-E-Mart. Goodbye to Kwik-E-Mart. Who needs the Kwik-E-Mart?
Not me.
Not me. And then, and then Homer says, I love, this is awesome. He's like, he's sitting down with the family. Wow, everything's wrapped up nicely. Much quicker than usual.
My God.
We all look at our watches and we're like, yeah, that's right. There isn't much time left.
There's like 4 minutes left in the episode. So Marge is like, well, I think we all learned happiness is wherever you find it. And Homer's like, and all of us have found happiness. But then we hear crying. Apu somehow made his way onto the Simpsons roof, and he goes, who needs the Kwik-E-Mart? I do. Now, I don't know if you noticed this, but when they zoom in on the Kwik-E-Mart, it is spelled Nicky Mart with a K-N instead of KW.
So weird. Now, I don't make memes often. And by often, I mean, I've made 3 in my entire life.
I've never made a meme.
So
I've sent a ton of them, but I've never made one.
So this one actually got quite a few likes on the Simpson thing that I do online.
Yeah.
But, so what I did was I did a photo of Apu on the roof saying, who needs a Kwik-E-Mart? Yeah. And then I took a photo of my Kwik-E-Mart Simpson shoes and posted that below it. And it says, I shoe.
I'm moving on. I hate you. Get out of here with your dad jokes. God damn it, Bart.
Oh, that was a great dude. So many people liked it. But here's another one. And these didn't come out yet when we did the Flaming Homer episode or the Flaming Mo episode. But I got the Flaming Homer shoes. And I was gonna do one where it's like Mo at the bar, but his head is the Adidas logo.
Okay.
And and Homer is just Homer. He's like, I'm going to call these shoes the Flaming. And then the Adidas Mo jumps in saying, the Adidas Mo. I call it the Adidas Mo.
That's funny. So probably my favorite line in this episode, Homer's like, hey, he's not happy at all. He lied to us through song. I hate when people do that. By the way, if you guys couldn't guess, this song... And like this whole song outside, I think the line of where they talk about how everything wrapped up quicker than usual and where Marge is like, oh, we all know happiness. I can't remember, but the song is on, I think the first Simpsons album. And this line is also on there, which is amazing. So, Apu, really misses the Kwik-E-Mart, and Lisa asks if there's anything he can do to get his job back. And he's like, well, I could go to the head office and appeal my case. And Homer's like, I'll come with because he got Apu fired and it's the least he could do. Yeah. And Homer's like, well, actually the least I could do is nothing. But I'll do you one better. Oh, that's great. And then so Apu's like, he tells Homer the head office is in India and Homer's like, oh, I'm okay with that. Lisa's like, but Dad, India is over 10,000 miles away. Now, I looked. Now, I don't know if this is air miles or if this is land miles, but Costa Rica and Chile are approximately 10,000 miles away from India, and I think that's by plane. So, going off of that, Springfield is probably in like the Midwest of the United States. And the other reason I say that is, we'll get to that in 1 second. So Homer's like, I'm aware of that. And Lisa's like, that means it's over 16,000 kilometers. And Homer's like, doh, like, what?
So Homer doesn't, so
Care
Homer's okay with the lower number of miles, but the higher number of kilometers.
Well, to be fair, Americans are stupid.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if people know the story, but McDonald's tried to do a 3-pound burger, and when they tested it, everybody loved the taste. The problem was it didn't sell because a lot of Americans were like, "Oh, well, this is less than a 1/4 pounder."
Oh my God.
Because 1/4 to them was less than 1/3.
Oh my God.
And so McDonald's took it off the menu because Americans are dumb. So we see Homer and Apu riding donkeys to the Springfield airport. And I looked this up, and I don't know if this is 100% true, but the only state with a city or town with Springfield in it that has an airport is Missouri.
So Springfield, Illinois doesn't have an airport?
Not a commercial one.
Really? That's a capital. I guess Madison has an airport, right?
Yeah, they do.
But not like an international airport.
I don't think it's international. And I don't know if the one in Springfield, Missouri is international, but it's the only one that I could find that actually had like call letters.
Oh.
So, because the airport in Illinois that's near Springfield is in like Barton, Illinois. I think that's the name of the town.
Oh.
So yeah, they live in Missouri. We figured it out. We're done. We don't have to. No more mystery. They live in Missouri. Well, I guess they could have taken the donkeys from Well, no, because it's the Springfield airport.
Yeah.
So they go from like one Springfield to another Springfield.
Maybe.
They live in Missouri. Anyways, so Homer and Apu are in the airplane and they're flying, and Homer's like, "Are we at India yet? No. Are we in India yet? No. Are we in India yet? Now we are."
Yeah.
So now we cut back to the Kwik-E-Mart where James Woods is on the phone with his agent, and we learn that his part was changed from a tightly wound convenience store clerk to a jittery Eskimo firefighter. I don't think that joke flies today.
No, Andy does say that Eskimo is no longer a used word in shows.
Yeah, so that didn't age well. So Woods is telling his agent to tell the Kwik-E-Mart he is leaving, but he has to give 2 weeks notice, and then he just starts swearing. And at first you think it's like, oh, I have to give a 2 weeks notice. But no, he's just yelling at his oven, not his agent, because the oven is covered in goo.
Cheese.
Is that cheese? Is that what it's... It looked red.
Yeah, it was kind of orangish. I'd say dried up cheese.
Okay. So now Apu and Homer get off at the airport in India, and there's obnoxious Christians at the Indian airport. And this is a joke about Hare Krishnas, where they would try to convert, Americans at airports or other, people.
Yeah.
So that was hilarious.
I don't think it's allowed anymore.
No, I don't think so either. I think that's considered loitering.
Yep.
And so now we see Homer and Apu riding on a train, but not riding on a train in a traditional way. They were hanging on the outside of a train, and then the train announces that breakfast was going to be served, and everybody like scurries to another car. Thank you, car. And so now we see Homer and Apu with a little montage of them traveling through the desert and the mountains. And the music that plays in the background is from the movie Lawrence of Arabia.
Cool.
Yep.
And so, Homer and Apu near the majestic Kwik-E-Mart, deep within a mountain range. Mm-hmm. And Apu's like, there she is, the world's first convenience store. And Homer's like, this isn't very convenient. Must you dump on everything we do?
Well, Homer's not wrong. It's in the middle of a mountain.
Well, where do you think the Himalaya monks need to go get their squishies from?
They don't drink squishies.
Oh, we did miss one thing. We're gonna go. Unless we didn't miss it. Oh, we did miss it. Never mind.
Okay.
I'll cut that part out. So they go up the steps to the Kwik-E-Mart, and he's like, they go see the CEO of Kwik-E-Mart, and he's also in Ohio, the Stop-O-Mart.
So Ohio doesn't have Kwik-E-Mart. They have Stop-O-Mart.
Yes. And so the Kwik-E-Mart CEO says, "You may ask me 3 questions."
You missed the sign that's above them.
Oh, sorry. Yes, there is a sign in the world's first Kwik-E-Mart that says, "The master knows all, except combination to safe." Because, when you get robbed, you don't want to know the combination to the safe.
No.
Nope. But yes, they go ask the CEO. The CEO's like, "You may ask me 3 questions."
What
That's
is he,
great.
a genie?
Yeah, that's great, because all I need is one. Then Homer interrupts. "Are you really the head of the Kwik-E-Mart?"
Yes.
Yes. Really? Yes.
Yes.
You. Yes. I hope this has been enlightening for you. And then I was like, "But I must. Thank you. Come again. But thank you. Come again."
Oh, that's great. That's fantastic. Of course Homer would ruin it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Just bad. And
Yeah.
so, Homer says, that the trip was a bust. And now Apu gets really angry, and he does the whole strangle thing. And Homer's like, "Oh, you don't have to apologize." But this time he strangles Homer, and Homer accepts Apu's apology.
Apu was not apologizing for anything.
As they roll down the mountain.
How are they not dead?
Because they can roll down anything and not die. Have
But
you
why?
learned this?
No.
Yes.
I will always ask this question,
They're
Steve.
invincible.
They're clearly.
Invincible.
Unless, of course, their voice actor passes away or retires.
Yes, exactly. Then you find someone new.
Yep.
So when they arrive, the kids ask Homer what he brought back for them. Like Homer was going to bring back souvenirs.
Yeah.
And Marge asks how it went, and Homer says, "Fine. Not good." And so, Lisa tries to cheer up Apu by singing, and Apu's just not in the mood. She's trying to sing the Kwik-E-Mart song again.
Yes, she
And
was.
Apu is just not impressed. And Homer's like, "Apu, if it'll make you feel any better, I've learned that life is one crushing defeat after another. Until you just wish Flanders was dead."
That was great. Oh, God. Yes, it is.
And then Apu's like, "I just had to accept my fate, and I'm going to the Kwik-E-Mart and face my demons," which is good because the Simpsons are out of Lucky Charms.
So Lucky Charms is canon in The Simpsons.
Yes.
Got it.
And so, Apu goes to the Kwik-E-Mart, and he sees the old squishing machine. And,
this is another animation weird thing. So when you look at the squishy machine, there's the purple flavor and the red flavor, but what's dripping out is green.
Oh, good. So the squishy's gone bad.
Either the squishy's gone bad, or maybe like the covers are different colors, and it's actually green squishy in the machine.
Maybe. Yeah. And so we cut to kind of like the overview with the register, and we see "Do not accept checks from Chief Wiggum."
Yep.
Reverend Lovejoy. Man,
Yep.
He's forging checks?
I guess so.
Man, what a bad reverend. So
Yep.
Homer J. Simpson.
Yep.
Homer S. Simpson.
Yep.
H. J. Simpson. Homer Simpson.
But spelled with an O.
Yep.
Homor.
Yep. And Homer J. Fong.
Oh, that's great.
So is this because the Simpsons really don't have much in the way of money, and
I don't know.
Homer just needs to keep farming checks?
So here's the weird thing. So at the beginning of the episode, there is a sign in front of the counter that says Apu does not accept checks.
Oh.
So I don't know why the sign is still up.
Yeah, why does that sign even need to exist?
Or maybe Apu just forgot to take it down.
Maybe. And so then we learn that James Woods is a real big fan of Apu. And he's like, "Yeah, I was studying all your old tapes." And Apu's like, "Yeah, once I worked 96 hours straight."
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Apu is dead.
Why?
Because you can't go longer than like after, I think, what is it? It's like after 24 hours, you go like delirious.
Are you sure? I've seen Insomniac stay up for weeks.
I mean, they're still taking like probably like micro naps.
I don't know. We'll see. But what happened is Apu thought he was some kind of hummingbird like animal.
Yeah.
Or bird.
As like they're watching the tape, and he was like doing like the hummingbird imitation with the arms in and like clapping his hands, and he's going fee.
He's gone completely mad.
Yep. And so some random guy comes in who looks like to me a Snake ripoff.
Yeah, Snake wasn't available.
So this guy is gonna hold up the Kwik-E-Mart, and he's like,
all right, you hand over the cash and don't try any funny stuff. And James Woods like, hey pal, I assure you, if I tried any funny stuff, you would be in hysterics.
And the guy recognizes James Woods, but he thinks he's a singer.
Yeah.
And so then, the robber shoots at Woods, but Apu jumps in front of the bullet and saves James Woods' life. And so he's like, oh man, I miss the feeling of hot lead. I mean, I think I'm dying.
Yeah.
And so we learned that
Apu's like, oh, the searing kiss of hot
lead.
Yep. And then, but yeah, Hibbert's like, well, you're a very lucky man, Apu. You see, the bullet ricocheted off another bullet that was lodged in your chest from a previous robbery.
Wow, he's a lucky man. So then Woods comes in to tell Apu that he got Apu's job back at the Kwik-E-Mart, and Woods is like, well, I'm off to battle aliens on a faraway planet. Marge's like, oh, that sounds like a good movie, and Woods is like, yes, a movie, sure. Well, I mean, James Woods, I think in real life has kind of got this kooky personality. So,
have you ever seen Family Guy?
Yes, I have. That I've seen. So, everybody's like, or Homer's like, everyone, let's give Apu a hug. And so they give Apu a hug, and then they just like kind of stand around awkwardly. Homer looks at his watch. Oh, there's still time. Let's do one more hug. And then we go to credits.
I love this is already the second time in this episode where they're like, oh, we wrapped up earlier than usual. Oh my God. So for me, man, this is definitely a 5 all the way up there. Everything about this episode is amazing and fantastic. I love the fact that this episode doesn't feel like you're watching a full 23-minute episode. Like, it's so compact. All the jokes are crammed into what feels like just such a short amount of time.
Oh, yeah.
But it's bursting with everything. I mean, the song, the jokes from the Kwik-E-Mart, Homer and Apu just hanging out in India. Just everything about this episode hits all the right notes and is funny through the entire thing. And I love that James Woods actually voiced himself. I think
that's great.
I think this is probably one of the first episodes where a celebrity voiced themselves.
No, I don't. Not Whacking Day. Well, Whacking Day.
Oh, what's his face?
Brown.
Barry White. Brown.
Barry White.
What are you, racist?
No.
Brown? Mr. Brown?
No,
his name is White.
Barry White. Was that Barry White? Yeah, that was
Barry White.
Who was the other singer that opened up Do What You Want Day?
Oh, but he didn't have any he wasn't a speaking role, though. And Barry White really, I guess he had a speaking role. James Woods had more of a speaking role than both those guys combined. But anyway, definitely 5s all around. This episode is hands down an amazing episode. I just like listening to the song over and over again.
Oh yeah. 5. Everything's coming up Millhouse. It's so good. The jokes are really good. The song is amazing. How dare he lie to Homer through song? I hate when people do that. The jokes are great. The whole, Homer getting food poisoning and then, getting Apu fired, which rightfully so. And it's just so good. And James Woods does a fantastic job. And I don't have really any complaints with it. There's a couple animation errors in it, but, it's a cartoon. Those are expected. So,
Cartoons don't have to be 100% accurate, Robert.
according to Lisa Simpson.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's fantastic. 5, everything's coming up, Millhouse.
All right, let's finish up with our character profile. And this week, we have Apu.
Nahasapeepa Pedalon.
Took a while, but we finally got to Apu.
Yeah.
His full name, Apu Nahasa Pasa
Nahasapena Pedalon.
Yes. Occupation, operator of the Kwik-E-Mart.
Yep.
Economic policy, gouge.
Yep.
Country of origin, India.
Okay.
Horrible memory. Thought he was a hummingbird of some kind after working 96 hours straight. His immigration status, semi-legal alien.
Yeah. For now.
Diet, strict vegan. No meat, no milk, no eggs.
Interesting.
And we won't learn about that till season 7, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I know the procedure for armed robbery. I do work in a convenience store, you know. All right, so let's let everyone know where you can find us. Head over to Facebook, The Simpsons Did It Podcast. Make sure to follow us there. Instagram, Simpsons Did It Pod. Make sure to hit follow on there as well. Twitter, Simpsons Did It PC. If you'd like to donate to our podcast, feel free to head over to buymeacoffee.com/Simpsons Did It and donate 5, 10, 15, 20s. We'll drop some stickers in the mail for you and send them on their way. And all your donations will go towards other merch in the future and improving the podcast in several ways. Lastly, check out our YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search Simpsons Did It podcast, and we'll be the first thing right up top there for you. And you can also give us a phone call to let us know your feedback on the podcast. And we also got a very funny voicemail message by Jaden LeBron, so make sure to check that out. So until next time, I'm Steven Skolansky.
I'm Robert Skolansky.
And this has been The Simpsons Did It.
Shh.